Hey, Sarah,
Yes, Alex?
do you think opening a marriage, a straight marriage, is easier for the man or for the woman?
Nope.
No, but I mean, like, which is typically better, like the man's experience or the woman's experience?
Neither one, no.
Okay, no, wait, like, do you think it's harder on men or on women?
Yes. Yes, it is. Hi, and welcome to Mistakes Were Made, a podcast about non-monogamy for messy people like us. I'm Sarah. I'm a queer therapist, parent, and writer, and have made my brand around the things about non-monogamy that are very hard for everyone.
And I'm her husband and co-host Alex. I was having a really easy time with non-monogamy for like the first 3 seasons of this podcast, but in the last couple of seasons, it has taken a bit of a turn.
Yeah, kind of jumped the shark.
Yeah.
And I'm Jessica here producing, and I'm not in an open relationship, but I still think that non-monogamy is really hard.
It's particularly hard on you
It's
still,
hard for me.
even though you're not in an open
Yeah.
relationship,
Just like listening to us talk about it, or
because you have to live with us.
yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love it. But it's hard.
Thanks, Jess. Thank you. So, in today's episode, we're discussing the different experiences that men and women have in transitioning from monogamy to non-monogamy. There was an article in The Guardian called "When Women Choose Non-Monogamy, It's a Possibility for Integration," which, wow, if there was ever a snappy headline, it has to be that one.
I mean, it definitely caught my attention because, I mean, I guess there have been a lot of like, non-monogamy, polyamory, wow, kind of articles, but the fact that this one was like drawing specific attention to like the women's experiences, like surprise, it's actually for
You might think that men
it's
are
not just for men
dogs,
anymore. Yeah.
dragging their women through hell.
So in the article, it says at the beginning, open marriage is often imagined as something men want, driven by male desire, engineered for male freedom, and reluctantly tolerated by women. So I wanted to ask you to start off, like, you've seen a lot of different clients and clients that moved from monogamous relationships and opened them into polyamorous relationships. Is that like what your experience has been, or what you've noticed? Like the trend is that it's usually the man's idea.
No, definitely not, actually. That's interesting. So one thing I wanted to note, like a lot of the media about polyamory and non-monogamy that we talk about on here, this one kind of follows the same formula, which is the people that they're interviewing are wealthy, they're white, they're straight, and they're in this kind of like a closed relationship system
Yeah.
where they've like kind of partner swapped. And so this is often
Which is like weird.
It's
Yeah,
unusual,
that
yeah.
jumped out at me at the beginning of the article. Like it is worth noting that it's like they're in a quad. Like the couple that they focus on is like a married couple who like opened and got with another married couple, which I guess we kind of did. Tried to do that
we
like
we
week
failed
one
to
of
do that in the
non-monogamy.
first 2 weeks of non-monogamy.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I guess it seems like a good idea, but I was kind of
The
surprised
Guardian
to
didn't
see.
get us in time.
Yeah.
Like-
So yeah, that's a strange thing about it. But like generally, you find that more women are like the ones who are initiating opening relationships.
It's an interesting question. A lot of my clients are queer.
Right.
And so there's a slightly different dynamic there, maybe. A lot of my clients come to me because there's been some kind of infidelity or someone has fallen for someone, whether or not they've acted on it. And so now there's this larger negotiation about whether or not to open up. That's not always the
Right.
case, but that's
That's
probably
common. Yeah.
60 to 70% of the time. But I would say as far as gender goes, it's often women. It is
Yeah.
often women who want to open up. Okay, actually, one sort of nuance to that. If it's women with older kids, it's often women who want to do the opening up. So if the women
yeah.
are a little bit older
Right.
and they have older kids, they often want this.
But then there's the like people who are like in the really small baby phase and like they're going through that like
It's much less common
Yeah.
that it's women who are initiating during that time.
it's that thing we've talked about with also with like care children show up in a family and the woman's care shifts from the man to the children, and then the man's like,
But what about me?
I need a girlfriend.
Who's going to give me my bottle?
Yeah.
And there is kink for that. So you can just, if you get in the right
You got to be open to that. Yeah.
Well, what about for you guys? Which one of you decided to open it up?
Somebody asks this like once a year.
And the answer is always different.
It's always different.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of different answers. I think it's also interesting to just think about who it was easier for in that question. But I mean, for us, like there was like infidelity in our relationship on my side that like sort of like opened the door to think about it, I think. And then a couple years later, it came up in your studies, right?
Well, yeah, I went to graduate school to become a therapist. And if you go to therapy school in Seattle, you are going to be introduced to polyamory because a lot of therapists coming up right now are polyamorous. And so I started knowing people who were practicing relationships that way. And then we did like it was like a human sexuality or a family systems course or something. And one of the case studies was about people who were in a polyamorous relationship and what is the definition of cheating when people are non-monogamous or polyamorous. And in my recollection, I was like, Alex, this is so interesting. Like, if you have an open relationship, how would you, define cheating or infidelity? And I swear to God, your response was, I'd try that. And I was like,
not how I remember
it.
That is not.
You're like, polyamory. I was like, I bet you would.
I definitely remember you sitting on the couch at our old house and saying that, but you sounded pretty interested in my recollection. What do you think made you interested? Like, was it according to what this article says? Did it feel like an opportunity for more integration?
Yes, I was like, you know what? I'm in the market for some integration, and I heard that polyamorous dating is the way to go. Okay, why? Well, one motivation for me was that as a queer woman in a marriage with a man who, and you and I had been monogamously married since our mid-20s.
Yeah.
The opportunity to be able to pursue queer relationships was really appealing to me, although I failed to do that. I spectacularly failed to do that for like the first couple of years, I feel like.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that.
Okay.
And then I think also for me, as the mother of young kids, I just felt like my life was being consumed by that identity as mother and parent, even though I was, pursuing this new profession. And I was desperate to get into contexts where I was seen as a grown-up. I was seen as interesting outside of my ability to, care for children. I was also like, and this is me, and it's just my taste in child rearing, but that period where all the conversations that you were having were about like what sort of sleep program you had your kids on and what kind of baby, you weren't even supposed to use baby formula. I remember like hiding that I wasn't breastfeeding anymore. It just was all pretty like judgmental and difficult and tedious, and I didn't feel like myself. So I think that was part of the reason.
Yeah.
too.
And like going out and meeting new people. I mean, this was definitely true for me. Like also we had like worked together for so long and like just didn't like really have like independent identities kind of.
We wouldn't have said this at the time, but we were so codependent. Like, so enmeshed. And I think instinctually we were like, this is probably not gonna
you mean
get
the
us
codependence
over the finish line. The
Sure.
system.
And it only took 5 years to begin to untangle that enmeshment.
So you say that we've begun to untangle it as of last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
That seems about right to me too.
But apart and separate from just like putting a label on it around codependence, also just like being able to go out into the world like as sort of yourself. And like, I think this is what you're saying, like being kind of like, here I am like an individual independent person, and like dating new people like really gives you that like opportunity to kind of like present yourself sometimes to internet randos without like any like context or preconceived notions. And like that felt good.
It felt good. And I do think this gets into some of the gender dynamics that the article is trying to uncover or explore, which is for women. So much of your life, if you're in a traditional family structure, if you're in a nuclear family, if you have children, just then gets completely usurped by that role, and you just don't feel seen in any other way. And so I think women get very hungry for the opportunity to break out of that and be seen as women, be seen as sexual, be seen as interesting, be seen as people who are still changing and growing, be seen as people. You know?
And I wanted to date those women also.
Date those women. And also, it turns out so do I.
Yeah. Everyone wants to date moms. That's the common.
But seriously, folks. All right, so that was a little teaser for our upcoming episode about who has it easy in polyamory. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with the full thing, right, Jess?
That's right. Yes, we have to go out into the world and do a little more research on this, I think. Right.
Our listeners are like, you don't research your podcast episodes.
We definitely didn't this time.
No, but we do have to take a tiny little break because we have a very exciting event coming up this weekend that you guys are taking the lead on putting together. What's happening? Oh my God. Can people come?
Yes, definitely. So we're organizing an event called Melt Music and Mutual Aid Fair. That's going to be next Sunday on May 24th at Estelita's new garage space in Beacon Hill. And it's going to be a chance to see local bands, including Lucha Luna, who's like a cumbia punk band that's blowing up. A couple other bands. I might or might not be in one of them.
Alex's band.
And more importantly, we're bringing together a bunch of mutual aid groups from the south end of Seattle, and there'll be opportunities for people who come to Melt to be able to like connect with them. Those groups are coming with really specific like wish lists for volunteers for different things. You can speak to that.
It's a really good way to get plugged in for the summer. So anyone out there who wants to be doing, this is all of the times that we're in are intense political times, but I think this summer is really gearing up to be a particularly intense political season. And if you're looking for ways to plug in, get involved, connect with community, understand more deeply what your role in mutual aid can be, this is an excellent event because I think we're going to have 6 or 7 groups, and they're going to be there with wish lists that range from like, we want your help serving a community dinner to curating a community fridge and food pantry to like, do you have any extra camping gear that you're not using? So lots and lots of opportunities to meet people doing great work.
I also want to say specifically for this audience that there will definitely be a lot of eligible polyamorous people there. I know that's what actually motivates people to come to events. So we've invited all of them, of course.
We've invited every single polyamorous person we know, probably.
So you can get tickets at the link in our bio, not in our bio, in our show notes. I've been saying that a lot recently. Okay. And yeah.
And until then, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Or we'll see you at Melt and see you in 2 weeks.
See you at Melt. Bye, everybody.